So, on tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about gender roles. And, I think this is a really interesting topic. This is something that I address with couples during my premarital and pre-engagement courses because I think that it's just something it's important to talk about. Yeah, what I remember about the gender roles when it came to you and Daddy in your marriage is that you guys were definitely traditional. You were responsible for the most part, like for the household, and whether that meant that you did the cleaning and cooking, or you hired someone to do the cleaning and the cooking, like you were kind of responsible for making sure that the household and me were taken care of. And so, like, what do you think of the gender roles in my marriage? Like, as a mother, you kind of like raised me, and I'm sure you had a certain idea about like what type of wife I'd be. Like, what's your perception?
No, I like the way that you and DJ do things. I think, when there's when the household is split that way and both people in the household work, I think that you should share the responsibility of taking care of the household. So I really like the way you guys kind of split things up, and it depends on who is the busiest at that moment, the way, who carries the weight. So I think that's great. And I really think, traditional or not, all marriages should be that way.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it should always be about kind of the greater good, regardless of, like sometimes you have to let go of the stereotypes and just make sure that things get done, but and tell me what you think about this. I think that, I guess it's unfair. I expect for DJ to do all the manly things, but I also expect for him to do some of my chores too, like if need be.
Well, no, because I don't understand what it is, but I just feel like men are supposed to like take care of outside dirty things.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to take care of cars. That's just what men, that's how they're programmed. Women are more, genteel in certain respects, or, something inbred in us that makes us know how to cook. We know how to clean. We know how to do the laundry. We know how to, we're more patient with the kids and that kind of thing. So, leave that to them.
But like, why is it that there's this double standard where like, I'm not gonna mow the lawn, but if he said to me like, oh, I'm not gonna wash the dishes, I'd be like, what? You're never gonna wash the dishes? Like, what if I'm sick? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a double standard a little bit.
A father will tell his son, boys don't cry. But then when these boys turn to men, you as a woman will be like, it's okay to let me see your soft. It's okay for you to cry in front of me. But so
Jay-Z actually did a whole footnotes from 444 episode kind of about that, about how like, when they're growing up, we want our men to be unemotional, or our boys. And then, when they get into relationships as men, their women want, them to be a little bit emotional. And it's kind of like mixed signals. And like a lot of men, grown men, like don't know what to do with that. So I think that's something that we need to rethink. I mean, we'll get into kind of like raising different genders in just a couple of minutes. But I think that that's something that we kind of need to change in our society, because it's really not fair. It is very confusing,
very much so. That whole thing about, girls can do anything that a boy can do, that is not, I don't feel that's true either.
What do you think that girls can't do that boys can do?
Well, I just think that men are traditionally stronger. So there are just certain things that you need to just sit back and accept. Okay, you're a woman, so let the men have that.
But see, I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, I think that there are things that are better suited for men to do, but I don't think that a woman can't do it. I don't think there's anything that a man can do that a woman can't. Now, maybe like shouldn't, it's not ideal, it's true, but can't do.
And I think we both have very similar, strong, traditional values, but we both are also flexible and are willing to adapt to certain situations.
Yeah, and I actually am surprised that we agreed so much on this. I thought that my somewhat new age, opinion on this was going to be different from yours, but you're coming around.